think, Marge. All I need is a title.
Welcome to Simple Tools for Brain Surgery. I'm Bill Jack. Let's say I come into your hardware store or your lumber yard and I say, I'd like to buy a pound of nails. And you look at me and you go, I cannot stand that shirt. That shirt is offensive to me. I'm not selling anybody who wears a shirt like that a pound of nails. Get out of my business. Everybody would recognize that as being unjust discrimination. However, let's say I came into your lumberyard or your hardware store and I say, I'd like to enter into a contract with you. I want you to build a torture chamber in my basement so I can torture puppies.
Oh, you're one of those people, huh? Well, I'm a cat person, so buy all the crap you want. Have fun.
And you go, I don't think I want any part of that. You see, at that point, we now have a disagreement. There is a distinction between discrimination and a disagreement, is there not?
In reality, no. I mean, in both instances, one person's not getting what they want. And in one instance, the other guy's being a douche about it, but that's about it.
Well, what's happening now is that the government is coercing businesses to enter into contracts.
Oh man, and those government people can be massive douches about stuff.
To have a contract, you have to have a willing provider and a willing purchaser. But the government is saying, based on public accommodation laws, we're going to force certain businesses to enter into contracts.
Damn that government trying to force us to serve people that we don't want to serve.
Businesses like bakeries or florist shops or photographer studios. These businesses who have a disagreement with certain events are now being coerced into providing services. That's no longer a contract. That's called coercion.
It may perhaps be a sad state of affairs, but that's generally how government has to work. Let's face it, there are a lot of laws that wouldn't be followed if there wasn't some form of government coercion behind them.
Take a look at what I mean.
Ruling in Colorado today could have far-reaching implications when it comes to same-sex marriage. The court ruled that a baker could not refuse to bake a wedding cake for a same-sex couple. The court says the Constitution does not give a business the right to refuse a legal request because of that proprietor's religious beliefs. The court says it amounts to discrimination.
Ruling is wrong. That the Constitution guarantees me the right to practice my faith, my religion, anywhere, anytime.
No, actually the Constitution does not say that. It does say that we have freedom of religion, but it does not specify anywhere or any time. If it did, then you would have a point. However, because it does not, your right of religious expression is running up against someone else's right not to be discriminated against. And as we will soon see, you have kind of less of a leg to stand on than you might think.
The fact that our community is still fighting to achieve our rights is an ongoing battle, and it's not always easy.
The case will now go to Colorado's Supreme Court and possibly the U.S. Supreme Court after that.
When I saw what was happening to Jack Phillips and other Christians when they spoke in the marketplace of ideas and were suppressed, I realized the First Amendment was under attack.
First, I noticed that when something is not going in your favor, the Constitution is under attack. When things are going your way, you are simply exercising your rights. Second, the Constitution guarantees rights. It does not guarantee privileges. There is no right to own a business, and this is where your argument falls apart.
In fact, recently there have been several cases where bakers or florists or photographers have been taken to court and found in violation of certain state statutes that are anti-discrimination statutes, because in those states those laws have been amended to include sexual orientation.
Yes, because the people in those states don't want other people being discriminated against on the basis of their gender orientation or gender identity. And this goes for everybody. In other words, they don't want people being discriminated against for being straight as well.
Jack Phillips at Masterpiece Cake Shop just outside of Denver was approached by a same-sex couple and asked to bake. They asked him to bake his wedding cake, their wedding cake. As a Christian, Jack does not want to participate in that event. And so he said, "I'll sell you anything in the store, but I just can't bake you a wedding cake because my belief is that marriage is between a man and a woman." As a result, they filed a complaint against him. He was found in violation of Colorado state law, and he has almost been put out of business as a result. I saw this, and I thought, well, if they're going to apply this law to Jack Phillips, a Christian, then I wonder if they're going to apply that law to all bakeries.
An excellent point. No business has the right to discriminate against people on the basis of gender identity or gender orientation. We'll see how this plays out when you embark on your evil scheme here.
So, I went undercover and went to several bakeries that advertise on the LGBT friendly site. I wanted to find out if they were going to apply this law equitably or if there was going to be hypocrisy. And what I did is I requested 2 cakes, both in the shape of an open Bible. On one cake, on one side, I wanted God hates sin, Psalm 45:7. On the other side of the cake, I wanted homosexuality's a detestable sin, Leviticus 18:22. And on the accompanying cake, I requested, on one side, God loves sinners. And on the other side of that cake, while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us, Romans 5:8. So, what did I want on the cakes? God hates sin, God loves sinners. Basically, that's the gospel. And when these bakeries would not bake my cakes, I filed a complaint with the Colorado Civil Rights Division, claiming discrimination based on my creed, Christianity.
Montana Denver bakery is accused of religious discrimination.
It's all after the owner refused to write an anti-gay message on a cake. 7 News reporter Jack Manella is live, finding out this may be part of a larger movement targeting gay-friendly businesses.
Yeah, the owner of Asukar Bakery says she welcomes everyone here, so she couldn't believe it when someone filed a religious discrimination complaint against her after she refused to write a message of hate on a cake.
This is mainly a happy job. Everything, it's happy birthday, happy anniversary, Merry Christmas.
Usually when Marjorie Silva ices a cake in her award-winning Peruvian bakery, it's filled with dulce de leche and love.
It's all happy moments that we're sharing with family.
But last March, a man came into Asukar asking for a Bible cake like this one with a message he had written down on paper.
I was shocked. I'm like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do?
Needless to say, it wasn't a Bible verse.
Detestable sinners. He wanted me to draw 2 guys holding hands with an X on top. So it was a very hateful message against the gay community.
Marjorie says she agreed to make the Bible cake, but not to write the anti-gay message. She would give him the tools to do it himself. She says she can't imagine writing something so ugly on one of her beautiful cakes.
If he wants to hate people, he can hate them not here in my bakery.
The thing here is, both bakeries are wrong in this manner. Jack Phillips is not allowed to use his religion as an excuse not to serve someone who is not disrupting his business and wants to make a purchase in good faith. Asukar Bakery is not allowed to discriminate because something that someone wants to put on a cake is objectionable or hurts their feelings. At least in the case of Asukar, they did offer items to allow Bill Jack to finish the cake himself. Jack Phillips didn't even go that far.
I believe in liberty for all, not liberty for some. Because if we don't have liberty for all, we have liberty for none.
Shut up! Morons! I'm surrounded by morons!
Yo, idiot! What do you think that Jack Phillips was doing to the same-sex couple who came into his shop? He was denying them liberty.